Hey, it's Jabo. Welcome to the Unrecognized User Lego podcast. This is not sponsored or endorsed by Lego. I don't know why I'm saying that. You should know that. If you if you don't recognize me, hey, I'm BrickTsar, and I'm doing this and I'm filming this, and it has the opportunity for my Czar level members to be live as I film this. So I got me some notes here, and I'm going to go through this. Oh, hey, Lego Freak. So Lego Freak is one of the Czar level members, and I've neglected you. So I'm going to try to do these episodes live for you guys, and then after that, it'll just be as a video on demand, although it'll probably show up in my live listings. And so I'm going to go ahead and tell you the topics I'm going to talk about today. I saw an interview that Alex Nunes and Jason from Jason's Bricks and Five did. We'll talk about some community-related topics and how the gist of what I got from the discussion was when we have complaints, we're wrong. And when we have questions that are valid, they just don't know the answer. So it's basically, I felt like Lego was telling us you're wrong and or we don't know as their answers to the questions. And then I have this the rant that I talked about. I mentioned I wanted to rant yesterday in the video because I was really mad, so I gave myself time to cool off. But it's about drop shipping. I want to talk about drop shipping. I've had some more people that have tried to get me involved in drop shipping, and I don't want to say it angers me, but it does. And, oh no. And so the only thing to be worse than the anger I have is Lego Freak getting his wisdom teeth taken out. So that's no fun. Hopefully nobody recorded you after you got your teeth removed, because people don't know what they say when they're under the influence. And when I'm under the influence of my own anger, I don't know what I'm going to say. So I waited. And so I'm going to talk about just maybe briefly about my thoughts of drop shipping. I'm not going to call anybody out by name or anything like that. But and then I had an interesting experience at Dollar General today. They were actually making fun of Walmart, but it's kind of ironic if I'm using the word ironic in the right way. And then I got a Santa Fe Super Chief in the last haul, and it was the limited edition version. And I'm going to talk about completeness, because while it technically wasn't complete, it really was for all intents and purposes for as it was sold. But I'll talk a little bit about that. So the first topic is about the Alex Nunes interview with the land guy. And if you haven't watched it, feel free to leave this video and go watch it. It's a really good interview, and it's actually really good questions. And I don't mean to throw shade on the answers, although I felt like shade was being thrown on the community. And maybe it's me. And so what I'd like you guys to do is go watch it and then come back and just tell me I'm wrong, because that's what I felt like they were telling me. But one of the questions was about the positive aspects of the land. And right away, I mean, the answer was right. I mean, it's a way of sharing knowledge. Lego gets feedback from land members. Land members can share information and answers to their community. I really think that's what Lego.com is for. Why is the answers hidden? They shouldn't really be hidden behind a group of people. Just make it available for everybody. It doesn't, I mean, you just post it, so the problem with I see is, like, for instance, there's a large section of the community is interested in leaks and the things that are new. They're on it. And I was like, I'm not that way. I went into the Lego store yesterday. So it was August 31st. And the only reason I went in there is because I was working in the area and I was near it. The Lego store is so far away. I usually don't make special trips to go out there. And I knew going in there, I was like, all the new stuff, or a lot of the new stuff's be coming out today. September 1st is when I'm filming this. And I was like, I know there's not going to be anything for me to buy, but I wanted to go in there because I like the people, and I do. I like the manager, Linda, and Alex was the guy that checked me out. He's a really nice guy, and to me, that's that store. It's Sugarloaf Mills in Georgia. It's the best Lego store I've ever been to. I know it's just because I'm more familiar with the people. I'm sure if I regularly went to other stores other than Disney Springs, because I've been to Disney Springs a lot, and I just don't like the store. But so anyway, I went in there knowing that I probably wouldn't buy anything. I ended up buying some things, but nothing special, nothing new, because they come out the next day. But anyway, Linda, the manager, asked me, "So what are you looking forward to for September?" I'm like, "I don't know what's coming out." And she started going through like Harry Potter. I'm like, no. And I was like, you know what? It's really actually good for my wallet. Is there's not a lot of things that I've been looking for. Now there are things I would like to get, but they're just too expensive. It's some of the Star Wars sets I want to get, but I'm not going to get them at this time. I'll just wait and see if I can get them on sale later. But then she said the Concorde. I was like, yes, that's it. That's the one I want. I want the Concorde, but it doesn't come out till the 4th, which is Labor Day, I think. So, I'm not, as far as like this whole thing about sharing information and knowledge, I'm not big into leaks, but I don't think you need a special like website for that. It's just make it available to people. And I think a lot of times when people get early copies of things, those are the people that are causing the leaks in the first place. It's the one thing I can say. If I was in the land, I can guarantee you I would not be the source of leaks. And that's a statement I can stand behind, because I would be like 2 months getting my stuff ready to do videos on. So I mean, the knowledge sharing is good. So anyway, Jason from Jason's Bricks and Five brought out the example of something that was mentioned in one of the meetings they had at Brick Slopes. All this took place at Brick Slopes in Utah, about how the fans got outraged about. I use that out. It wasn't really an outrage. It's just like, hey, what's up? Type thing with some of the regional exclusives, like the Lego Movie Brickheads and Monkey Kid. Well, I personally didn't care about Monkey Kid, but there were people that wanted those sets, and they were regional exclusives. And so that's something that Lego listened to the community on. And I'm not against exclusives at all. I think like there's events and things, and there can even be regional exclusives. In fact, I liked it when I would go to a store and they had things that were specific to that store. Like if you go up to New York, they had items that were for the store in New York. If you go, and I think they should do things like this. I was never against it, but I felt the response was kind of like, well, you didn't want it until you couldn't buy it. It's like, Lego fans, they won't buy anything until you tell them they can't. Then all of a sudden they want it. I'm like, no, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. There's like things that you make exclusives that there's no reason for them to be an exclusive. There are plenty of good reasons to have things as an exclusive. And so I don't appreciate that it came across, and maybe it wasn't intended, but it came across like, Lego fans are whiny and they just want to get their way, and they won't buy something. But I think an example is like the Space Probe set that was a VIP exclusive that became very hard to get. It's like, yeah, I wanted it. They shouldn't have sold out in 2 minutes. Things like that, or the coins, and they did correct those problems. But would they have corrected them if the community hadn't complained? Because I think complaints are valid. Again, there can be things that people complain about. It's just like, nothing's ever going to be done about it, or it's not really feasible to do anything about it. But you still got a right to express your dissatisfaction. Like when they mentioned high prices, that was the second question he mentioned, was about these high price sets. And I think people, when they ask about high prices, they're not talking about like just the $600 sets and the $400 sets and the $500. They're talking about just the high prices in general. And the response to that was, we make them because you buy them. So I was like, so on the one hand, we don't buy stuff unless you say we can't buy it. And on the other hand, we'll just buy whatever you make. No, I think people will eventually vote with their wallet. For instance, that Black Panther bust was a bust. I think the Iron Man thing was a bust. So I think the Titanic was a success. I think the Eiffel Tower is a success. So there is a place for. I mean, obviously the Millennium Falcon, that's a success. And so I'm not saying they shouldn't make big sets. I like that they make the big sets, and I'm an owner of many of the big sets. I think sometimes the prices of things doesn't make any sense. And I think people, again, they have a right to complain about that. And the best way to complain about it, people, is not to buy it, which is what I've chosen to do with things like Lego Ideas. I used to be kind of a Lego Ideas completist, but they started making $300 things that I didn't want. And I was just like, you know what? I don't need to do it. So for me personally, that means that I was buying things probably that I didn't like. So it actually was a good thing for me. It's like I'm now thinking more about things I actually want instead of just trying to complete something. So everybody has their own ways of collecting, and you're not wrong for collecting the way you want to collect, as long as you don't hurt anybody else in doing it. But and don't treat me like I'm a kid with that. And so another one of the questions they had was about being involved with third-party brands. Can a person like that get in the land? And I think Lego has every right to, if you're in the land, to be kind of limited in what you do. But then on the other hand, I think about things like model trains. Like with model trains, there are a lot of different manufacturers and of all the different scales. So you'll have, say, just in one scale, you'll have many different manufacturers. I have seen, so I follow Train World, and I've had deals with Train World, and they have sent me things in the past for free. They're not a manufacturer; they are a distributor. And anyway, they have community live streams on their channel that sometimes it will be just one manufacturer. They do things with Bachman Trains that makes the Thomas and Friends stuff. They do things with Lionel that makes they're the big popular O-scale train company. But I've seen them do streams that have manufacturers from different companies, and so it's like they all are competitors, but they also can get along. So it's like that's why there's standardization in the model train community. It's like you want your stuff, if you make HO scale stuff, you want it to be able to run on your competitor's track. You don't want to have your own thing. And I think with bricks, there's this, I'm guilty of it too, of kind of being like a Lego snob. But the more I thought about it, and I did this years ago, it's like people will say they are a Lego purist, but they really are not. I think a Lego purist is a very, very rare person to come across, because I guarantee you, even people that think they are Lego purists, you can find things they're doing that technically aren't Lego pure. And I see it at the conventions, and it's if you use anything that's not Lego. So to me, a Lego purist is you're only using things manufactured by Lego without cutting your bricks. And I see people with custom stickers and other modifications they will do. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I think that if the kit bashing that you see in the model train hobby was not frowned upon in the Lego hobby, I think you would have more opportunities for people to incorporate things like Connects. And I tell you, it still irks me to this day that there's another company that is Coaster Dynamics. I've had deals with them. They have sent me early releases of roller coasters. They sent me their first one of their first brick-based roller coasters, the Cyclone. I have a version of that nobody else has, and um, it was a really good roller coaster track. And this is before Lego made their own roller coaster. And the Coaster Dynamics one it's superior to Legos. It's way superior to Lego. It still is. It just doesn't have the popularity of Lego. But it irks me when I see the guy that has the Jurassic Park roller coaster, and they keep calling it a Lego roller coaster all through the video. And they do mention at one point, like, hey, it's Coaster Dynamics or CDX blocks tracks, but it's not a Lego roller coaster. The roller coaster portion of your Lego roller coaster is all CDX blocks. It's no Lego at all. Maybe some of the supports, but even those are CDX blocks. So I don't like that Lego gets the credit for something that's not Lego. And Lego shouldn't want to do. I don't think the Lego group wants the credit for something they didn't make. And I think CDX Blocks needs credit for the good thing that they've made. And so when They Might Be Bricks and I took ours, we made sure to call it what it was, CDX Blocks. I made a Scream Machine. He made the Fiery Fisto Pain. We took that to a show. So I think the community would be better if it allowed more customization in things that weren't just Lego branded. But I've seen the snobbery. I know it's probably always going to be happening, but I sure would like to have a show where people could mix Lego with Lionel trains, with Tomy trains, with CDX blocks, with slot cars, with real Barbies. I mean, whatever you can think of, just mix them. Can't we all just get along? And we just had one of our Czar level members jumped in the chat. It's Battery Powered Bricks, Brian. He said Lego roller coasters are kind of lame, to be honest. And I tell you how, and I was excited that they made them. And when they finally put the roller coaster track on Bricks and Pieces, I bought a ton of it because They Might Be Bricks my son, Jacob, he wanted to make a big Lego roller coaster with multiple loops and all that kind of thing. And so I bought him all this track, and he did some loops. He made some things that, he watched other people on YouTube that made videos, and he was making these things, but then he just never finished because it's just hard to work with. But the CDX block stuff, it was super easy to work with. So I don't know if we'll get another Lego roller coaster. I mean, one of the new releases that I didn't buy was the space roller coaster. I do want to get it, but I don't want to pay $110 for it. So I didn't buy it. I voted with my wallet. I didn't buy it, but I do want it because it's got a space shuttle built in it. And I will get it, but I'll probably get it when it's on clearance because nobody else bought it. So please don't buy that set. And so to be honest, Brian, from Battery Powered Bricks, he mentioned something is that it's kind of messy with other third-party brick makers, and that they have their issues of their own. And it's basically they're all non-existent or kind of scummy, except for Kobe. Wait a minute, I'm trying to think of others. Nano Blocks. You got. Yeah, that's about it, because Mega Constructs is pretty much gone. Connects is gone. Connects got bought by a company called like Happy Fun or something, so it's basically gone. So Lego, they've eliminated the competition. Mega Constructs, and I've said this repeatedly, and people probably get tired of me saying it, but they made a train. It's a Western train. I don't know if they made any others. But it was G-scale. It ran on G-scale track. So literally they could just make trains. You don't even have to manufacture the track. And this goes back to the model train compatibility. I think of Lego, and they weren't thinking of this back in 1960s, but if they made that large scale, and we talked about this on the podcast too, the A-Fool podcast, but there's other issues that come in. But if they just made it compatible, the wheel width with a gauge or scale of another contemporary thing, then they wouldn't have to worry about making track. They could just make the trains, and you could go buy your track from somebody else. Oh yeah, Battery Power Bricks mentions Blue Bricks. They make the Star Trek stuff, and I've heard it's good quality too as well. And my son really wants to get the Star Trek stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they'll grow in some traction. Yeah. And so Lego ambassador, he talked about, or he's not the ambassador, he's the whatever he is, but he talked about bringing in, you got to bring something. If you bring something new, that's the kind of things they're looking for. And one of the things, like in the past, that was new is bringing people onto Twitch. So apparently Lego got involved in Twitch as it's dying. And then the other thing, one of the last topic I'm bringing, and then we'll go to other topics here, but they talked about, the question was asked about the QR codes. And basically the answer was, you're wrong, and I don't know. Because he said, no, because the question was, why are there no QR codes on BrickHeads from the last 5 years? And he said, that can't be true. That's wrong. That's not right. That can't be true. And it is true. But then he backtracked, because it was like, well, there's a separate group that handles that makes the special items, like the giftwood purchases and the things that it's understandable why there's no QR code on them. But actually, everything should have had a QR code on it, because you should be able to go get the instructions. But I guess they don't want like exclusive things, like employee exclusives, to have online instructions. But man, I wish they did. I really wish they did. I wish they'd put all of them. But then again, I think about some of the things I got that there are no online instructions. I don't really want to share them either. So I guess I can kind of understand it. But it was just funny. He thought he didn't know. So the community guy didn't even know that was the case. But that's understandable. But that's where you can go back and you get the question. I don't expect people to get asked a difficult question and to be able to answer it on the fly. Now, give them time to research it and get back to them. There are some things you kind of should know. This not necessarily one of them. All right. Well, I got my notepad here. I feel like I have a script. It's my notes. I hope this thing's recorded. I know Brian heard me because he directly talked about things, and I know Lego Freak heard me when he was in here. And if you want to get in on this fun action, become a Czar level member and wait like 12 months before I actually do it. Thank you. This is brought to you, the sponsor of the Unrecognized User Lego podcast is my channel members. Thank you, channel members, especially you Czar level members who've been supporting me despite my incompetency in fulfilling your wishes. The handy dandy notebook. I get this idea from Columbo, Brian. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is drop shipping. So this is the thing that I was all riled up about yesterday when I started to do my haul, and I was like, I wanted to talk about it, and I didn't. So I feel like I was duped, and I pride myself in not falling for scams. Now, I did not fall for a scam, but I was presented this idea that someone had about making it easier for people that aren't familiar with Bricklink to check out from multiple stores. And I think we talked about it a little bit on the A-Fool podcast, and we all just basically, you know what, we're kind of happy the way it is. It's like, I can figure it out, because like every time you get any kind of wanted list feature, that it always ends up picking the higher dollar things. And there was just a lot of, I'm sure somebody can eventually come up with a way where you can check out seamlessly, where it might be, it would involve the sellers having to agree to set shipping terms, where, it's not, but I've seen it on Amazon. When you check out, you'll pay, Amazon will have, if it's their item, it's free shipping if you're a Prime member, and if it's from somebody else, they'll add the shipping to it. But it's usually disclosed right there, and you see what it is. But with Bricklink, yeah, you say you're trying to complete a mock or a set and you need parts and you make your wanted list. Well, the challenge is always finding somebody that has all the parts, and it's rare that you do. I'm working on a B unit. That's my fourth topic. My Santa Fe. I'm working on making a Santa Fe B unit, the James Mathis design one, and I bought the regular unit, and you need more parts than what comes in that set to build it. So I went and just looked. I know kind of what some of the expensive and rare parts are, and I looked at those first. I made a wanted list of those. I couldn't find anybody that had all of them that I needed. So, I played, but I think I was able to place 2 orders and get some of the main ones. There's still going to be other orders I'll probably have to place in order to finish the B unit. So this is going to be I'm going to be 5 different sellers in just, and plus I'll have to still get stuff from my own collection. So anyway, getting back to, I understand that it's a challenge, but my whole thing is learn how to use the dang site, man. If you want to buy, just learn how to use it. It's like Bricklink is not for your typical Amazon shopper. So it's a different level of expertise, and I am glad they've kind of rolled out features. Like I try to make it as easy for my buyers to check out. They're disclosed what the shipping is going to be, since they can decide not to go through if they think the shipping's too much and things like that. So, I mean, there are things that can help. But anyway, so I thought the idea was have some kind of software or something that would help people check out. But then I was like, immediately my red flag goes up. Well, if you have some kind of software, what is your skin in the game? You'd have to charge some kind of percentage, or else why would you do it? I mean, out of the goodness of your heart. So that, as I said, I'm not interested. I would not be interested in paying a fee. And even people that do Bricklink for a living, I don't understand paying a third-party company a fee to do things that you can do yourself that really aren't that time-consuming. Like the whole thing, there's people that'll pay 1% fee to sync their stores between BrickOwl and Bricklink. And I'm like, just have the one store and save yourself. I mean, why is anybody using BrickOwl? But I am glad I shouldn't say that, because I am glad BrickOwl's there, because if Lego screws up Bricklink, there'll be something to go to. But until Lego does that, thank you to the ones that kept BrickOwl going, because that's where we'll all go if Lego screws up Bricklink. But I just don't see paying a fee. It's like, I think, and I really think that we'll throw eBay into the equation. I don't think, and I don't know if there's any rules against it, but I don't think it should be allowed for you to list an item on multiple different platforms at the same time. So let's go to the simplest thing, a set. Say you have set 10020, the Santa Fe limited edition locomotive. You have one for sale. You should not be able to list it on eBay, Bricklink, and BrickOwl at the same time. Yet that's what people do with BrickOwl and Bricklink. Whenever I go to BrickOwl, I'm like I'm looking for these tippers, and I'm like, this is the exact same quantity. Oh, this is the same guy in the Netherlands. I'm like, why do you got the same thing listed? And my snarkiness in me is I want to go buy them from both stores at the same time before they're able to sync their stores. That's what I want to do. But so that could be an annoyance. But I kind of understand why people do it, because maybe there's people that use BrickOwl that don't use Bricklink. But back to the original thing, though, drop shipping. So what drop shipping is I'm selling something, I don't have it. So, and I was the victim of this on Bricklink. No, yeah, it was on Bricklink. We had a Star Wars set that I was selling for a friend, because I don't usually sell sets, but he had these 2 sets he bought years ago, and he said, I've never built them. Can you help me sell them? And I said, I didn't even charge him a fee. I just basically got my Bricklink fees and PayPal fees back and gave him the money. But anyway, the set actually sold. I was like, whoa, because we had it at one of the higher prices on Bricklink, and it sold. And then, well, anyway, when the payment came through, the address was like the zip code didn't match the state that he put. And then he was slow to respond. And then it turned out he was in a different state. And I'm like, oh, this is a drop shipper. He said, my friend, let me get with my friend. I bought this for a friend. I'm like, do you not know what state your friend lives in? Well, what kind of friend are you? You don't even know what state he's in. I mean, I was like, maybe you hadn't seen him in 10 years or something, but I'm like, I knew it was a drop shipper. And which reminds me, I got to go back and see if I blocked them, because that's usually what I do. I block them, because drop shipping as a seller I know for a fact on Bricklink and eBay, as a seller, it is against the terms of service. I cannot list something on Bricklink, or I'm not supposed to list something on Bricklink or eBay if I do not physically possess it or have the means that, like, because there are some things like that are, I think the ones that do like the bubble mailers. If you ever bought bubble mailers, now they may not physically have them, but they have a supplier, so it's kind of guaranteed. So I think that's a little different. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like what these people do, and I think they do it on Amazon for the most part. I think there's some on eBay, but Amazon, I guess, is not as strict on the drop shipper, so they'll list an item. And then when somebody buys it, they just go buy it from somebody on Bricklink or eBay and then ship it to them. And their hands are never involved. So it's pure profit for them. And it's scummy, and it may sound good on paper, but from my perspective, like Dylan, I know people have complaints and problems. If I can make a mistake as a seller, I can make a mistake. As a buyer, I could get something that's damaged or not as was described, and then you're like a middleman, and you don't even know you're dealing with a middleman. The middleman can just be like, So anyway, so what it turned out is that this software wasn't software. It was that somebody just set up a third-party website on Shopify to sell every Lego set in the world from Bricklink, eBay, Amazon, and it really made me mad, because I was like, this is drop shipping. This is scummy. You don't possess the sets. There's so many problems with it. I found some of the listings. The markup is 30 to 40%. In one case, I found it was 850% more. And I'm like, I saw a lot of Joey Brick Trains. I saw a lot of his pictures on some of the listings. I'm like, that's not what they're getting. So the way you present the item is as if that's what they are getting, and that's not what they're getting, because that's Joey's, and he's not selling it. I wanted to find one. I tried to see if there was one of my pictures on there, because then I would have blown a gasket for sure. But it's, I'm not going to mention them, and it's not worth mentioning, and it'll fail. It should fail, and I really feel bad for anybody that falls for it. But man, don't buy stuff from sus websites, because if you're buy from people buy from Bricklink, buy from eBay, because you got the protection. Like even if you deal with a bad seller, a bad actor seller, those Bricklink, PayPal, eBay, whatever, they will kind of stand behind you if you can prove that you were dealt a bad hand by somebody. But and then there's other sites. I mean, Mercari is still a little sketch. I've had not the greatest experience with Mercari. I mean, I haven't been scammed. I know there are outright scams on Mercari, but there's scams on eBay. They're pretty easy to spot, and they usually don't last. But and there can be people that I'm glad Bricklink's made it harder for people to become a seller, because it limits the scams from that. But they're rare. I mean, it's not usually something that's going to happen. But yeah, don't involve me. Don't make me am I the middleman? No, they're the middleman. I don't know. It's like it should be a transaction between two parties. There's three, and then one of them is just taking. So basically, if let's say I had a set for sale for $100. He would sell it for 130. So he would actually probably make more on it than I did. And all he did was connect the dots with people. And then I got to ship it to that person. And if that person's not happy with it, I guess they'll have to get with him. Then he would have to get with me. And I'd be like, I didn't send it to you. I sent it to this other person. But don't be a drop shipper. It's a 4-letter word, drop ship. That's a double 4-letter word, so it's really bad, and I don't appreciate being involved in it, and I will not support it. I will not endorse it. And if you rip somebody off, I will call you out. But right now, I'm not even going to mention. I don't even want people finding the website, so I'm not going to mention him. Not going to mention his name. I asked for his username on Bricklink and eBay, and he ignored me twice. So I know that he knows that I'm not happy. So I will find it. I'm telling you, I will find it, and you will be blocked. And I will let my friends know. I think it's a bad idea, and I hope that you change. And I hope it's done. I hope your intentions were good. I just feel like, when you see, this is the vibes I get. If the guy's watching the video, these are the vibes I get, and they're maybe not what you intended, but these, you'll see these, and these are all scams, all of them, all these get rich quick scheme ads. You may see it. You may get an ad for it on YouTube. If you got it on my video, please let me know. I don't want those ads running on my video, but they're selling a course and they're all the same. It's all the same. They're going to show you how to make money, but you got to buy their course. If you made so much money, why do you got to sell the course? I wouldn't be selling courses. I'd be building Lego. So anyway, that's the vibe I get from this, is the whole site, the whole, I don't want to call it a scam, but the whole scheme gives me those vibes of those people. And I do not understand why in 2023 people still fall for those schemes, the Bitcoin schemes. It's like, but I'm going to see, here's a comment from Brian. He says, want to get rich quick? Start selling courses and books on getting rich quick. That's exactly what they are. And get some of your friends to join. It's multi-level marketing. It's pyramid schemes. It's not good for anybody, except for the guy at the top. And then they get caught, and then it's just a whole big scandal. I mean, look at Logan Paul. Why is there any support for people like this? I don't understand it. I don't. Anyway, that's the way I feel. So if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong, but I'm not. I'm taking the stance that Lego takes with me. You're wrong. When I say you're wrong, I'm not talking to my viewers. I'm talking to drop shippers. All right. So the last thing, so I've been talking about that Santa Fe train. So got it off eBay from a guy we've bought from before. I think I shared it in the video. I can't remember. It's Herbie0 on eBay. He made me a good offer on it. It was very fair. But anyway, I didn't finish it, come apart. He sent it assembled and it kind of partially apart. And I said, well, I almost go from scratch and just see the inventory. So I did the inventory, and I'm like, well, it's missing the dark gray bars, which if you don't know, when Lego made the limited edition version, they sent it with dark gray bars where there were supposed to be 2 light gray bars and 2 red bars. So if you bought it from Lego on lego.com, which I think was about the only place you could get it, or at the Lego store, they sent it with a separate bag. And so he obviously got the second bag, or the additional bag, because it had the correct bars. But the gray bars weren't in there. But to me, to be technically complete, it would have had to have had the gray bars that you don't need for the build. And then the other thing is, they give you the pieces to convert a 9-volt motor to make it powered. And it shows you in the book how to power it and how to even add the light unit to the front of the locomotive. But in order to do that, there's modification that has to be made to the undercarriage part of it and to the inside of it. So if you build the main model as it is unpowered, it uses certain pieces. Then if you add the motor, there's a few pieces you got to change. And it's not just a matter of removing pieces, it's a matter of changing pieces out in some of the cases. So there are actually, if you got done with the main model, there would be extra parts. Now, the most important extra parts were in there. The 2 covers for the 9-volt motor train base. They're light gray. Those were in there. But what was not in there were things like there's 4 1x6 light gray tiles that replace the 1x8 tiles. So there were on the bottom, there's on the main build, there's 4 1x8 light gray tiles, but you got to make the undercarriage smaller to fit the longer train motor in there. So they cut it by 2 studs. So you got to rebuild that build. And so it uses, so there's things like that weren't in there. And I was like, and I'm telling you this, not because I'm mad, because I'm not. I got what I paid for. I got exactly what I expected. And it was in excellent condition. All the stickers were there. Oh, that's the other thing. So on the main model, it shows you putting the 301 stickers, and that's what he had on there. But there's also these 20 stickers that have the number 27. I need to get some of those. And then I was looking to buy them. Then I'm like, wait a minute. I built the model with the 301 stickers. All I got to do is go find my original sticker sheet, and I can make them. So I'm going to do that if I can. I have no idea where it is. But so anyway, the whole thing was, so we joke about it sometimes when people say something is 99% complete. Well, this was, as far as the build, it was 100% complete. In fact, it had 2 extra parts. There's one part, I don't know how it got in. He must have rebuilt it, is all I can figure. There was a 2x8 dark gray plate, and it's not in any of the parts listings for it. So I don't know where that came from. And there was like a blue cup in there. So it's like, hey, it actually had more parts. But in order to build it, you know what? He actually had it built as it was for and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm missing the 1x6s. No, that's right. Yeah, he had it built as a dummy. And I need the parts to build it with the 9-volt motor, but I may not motorize it. I haven't decided. And I'm probably just going to use all the parts for the B units, what I'm going to do actually. But that's what I wanted to talk about on the what's this thing called? The Unrecognized User Lego podcast. So let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on things like this, and what I do a terrible job of answering questions from my own community. I used to do a series, and we did it quite regularly. And I think the key to success in this type of series I'm talking about is the BrickTsar answer thingy. We used to do BrickTsar answer thingy, #BAT. Is if you're consistent with it. You got to do it on a regular basis, like once a week, once every 2 weeks, or whatever, even if you did it just once a month. Because people will leave questions. And I haven't done that. I've neglected my audience. So I got to go back and look at my comments. I haven't done it in so long, I forget how to find comments in the studio. Yeah, this is BrickTsar at its best here. Let's filter by questions, contains questions. And usually I would ask people to use the #BAG. Here's one from Kaz Mockett. She says, Blockhead UK. She says, why would you do that? She's talking about the tape where they taped all of up. So I answered a question. Thanks for watching. Now let's see if I can find some questions as I look through a list of things. So we talked about QR codes earlier on the Lego instructions, and at this point I've scanned about 600 and 630 to 640. I'm almost to 650, which would get me to the $100 amount. I've actually scanned more than that because some of them, the barcode didn't go to the site the way it should. It got an error message instead of showing you whether or not it had been redeemed. I just got some kind of error message. But and then I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of instructions that don't have QR codes, and a lot of those are from the era. I said era of the QR codes. But anyway, this is, oh man, I got to figure out how to see people's actual usernames. Let me click on. I wonder if I click on their thing, if it'll take me to. Yeah, Karen. Oh my goodness. So Karen, I'm not saying that like from the pejorative use of the word. The name on the screen says user DL5GS4G8B, but if you click on it, it's Karen. So thank you, Karen. I was like, why can't it? Why do the ats have to just show us the at? If the people didn't choose the ats, that's their name. Like mine says BrickTsar. So if you see at BrickTsar, it's at BrickTsar, but it's not at user 9257832182994 QRB7. No, but anyway, and it's not Karen's fault. This is YouTube's fault. They took something that wasn't broken and they fixed it to give people handles. But anyway, stupid question. If you have 10 of a set, can you scan all 10 instructions and get points on all 10? And you can. You absolutely can. We've done it. I've done it. I think I've done up to 30 or 40 copies of a set. And the friends, so that friend's apartment, or no, the Central Park. It's not the friend's apartment. It's the Central Park. I had a bunch of those that I parted out. So I scanned all those. And one of them, when I scanned it, it showed an eternal set. And I did it multiple times. I kept going. And I was like, do I need to save this one? It's like every time even after I redeemed it, and then I did some others, and then I went back to it and it pulled up that eternal set. I was like, that's an error. I was like, I need to save that one. So I don't know if anybody else has discovered that. Oh, let me see. Let me look at the live chat from our Czar level members. We got one from Brian. He says one of the guys in his Discord is setting up a full ABBA, not the band. Oh, dang it. So of the Santa Fe train with all of James Mathis cars. So, and that, if you go to BrickShelf is where you can find the instructions. If you search hard enough, it's not as easy to navigate, but on BrickShelf, it's an old website that people used long ago in a galaxy far, far away, but it's, they show that consists of the A unit, which is the one with the nose, the B unit, the one that's rectangular, another B unit, and then an A unit. And so that means they're going to make two B units and have two A units on either end. And it's like with those F units, it always looks better to have one A unit and then all B's in the middle and then another A unit facing the other way. It's just some reason, to me, and maybe it's just me, and I'm sure you can probably find photographs of real trains where two of the A units or F units, FA7s, F7As, or whatever they are pointed in the same direction, but I think it's unusual. I may be wrong. So Oil Well, one of our Czar level members, said it would be nice to do once a month. So I'm going to try to do them in this podcast. I call it a podcast. Who knows if I actually upload it to a podcasting platform, but we're calling it a podcast because I'm not showing you anything and I'm doing a lot of talking. But yeah, I'll try to be more regular with this. All right. So I'm going to look through here for some more questions. You know what? I'm going to do the hashtag BAT. Let's do that. I'll see if there are any unanswered BAT questions in the world. There's probably not. All right. Well, this one I actually already answered, and I've got to go look at the actual users. It says King. The King. This is from the King. He says, will you get the Concorde? And that's the only set that I'm aware of that I actually really want to get that's coming out after September 1st. and I do want to get it. I'm hoping if there is no gift with purchase available of any kind on September 4th when it's available, I will not buy it. I'll wait. Here's one from Geology Joe, one of our Czar level members. Says, would you rather get the train set you wanted back in the 90s or equivalent amount of sets that you could have bought on sale back then? I mean, what would you in present day choose? Oh, this is tough. So basically, to understand the question, you have to understand, what we're talking about here is like back in the day when I had limited funds and there's things I wanted to buy that I couldn't afford. Wait, that's just like today for everybody. Wait, it's never changed. Lego was expensive in the 1990s. I think I could make a case for some things that is actually more expensive back in the 90s than it is today. And I just remember like when those trains came out, like $130, $160. That was like crazy money for a Lego set. I mean, $50 was bad. And 130, 160, I'm like, no way. I can't afford that. So I didn't buy them when they first came out. But they did go on clearance. And some of them went on really deep clearance. But he said, would you rather get the train set that you wanted back then or the equivalent amount of sets that you could have bought on sale back then? So like if I have a time machine and go back but still had the same funds that I had, the only thing that would change, if I had the knowledge, I would buy the things that I knew would be very much more in demand. So I can't have regrets because I bought things that are very popular today. I bought castle sets. I bought pirate sets. And those actually went up in value more than I think even the train sets from the 90s. So I think I made the right choice. I would probably still buy the clearanced pirate sets and castle sets and still missed out on the trains because really the price today is not that bad on some. Well, I take it back. It has gotten worse in the last few years. But when I started going back and buying things that I had missed in the early 2000s, the prices still hadn't got too out of hand. And there still are a lot of trains from the 90s you can get. If you look long enough, you can find them at decent prices. Oh, let's see. I got to find another back question. Oh, all right. So this is talked about completeness about my Santa Fe train, and this is from Guido. Let me click on his channel so I can see what his actual name is. It's Guido Geit. I think it's Geit. I could be wrong. Tell me, Guido. Yeah, but he says, if you cut a piece of string to size, doesn't that constitute a complete set in your book? So I'm not sure. It's on. It's actually on a video that's titled, I forgot what I said. So I already forgot what I said. But I think string is one of those things that you can cut the size because, like, who's going to know? Because I think that's the way it was manufactured. Like, they cut it to whatever size. In fact, there were specific lengths that were common. And then there are different thicknesses of it. So I think that's the challenge, is finding ones that are the right thickness. But I don't have a problem if you only needed this long a string and you have a string that's this long and you cut it to the right length. I don't think it matters. And is it authentic Lego anyway? Did Lego make the string or did another company make it for them? Because I've seen some things that Lego makes that look a lot like stuff that other people make. And I'm not talking about the bricks. All right, here's another one from Geology Joe. Do you show more or less every Lego haul, or is what you show just part of what you purchase overall? I used to try to show everything, even if it was for Bricklink. I don't show y'all everything now. Like if I know that, say I buy from somebody and this seller knows me, And I don't know if they're expecting a haul. So sometimes, even if I'm not using it for anything that's interesting, I'll probably show it. Like always show you my tipper truck hauls, but stuff that I buy to part out, I don't show. I don't usually show that as much anymore. I used to all the time, but yeah, I've gotten where I don't show as much. Which when you think how much I do show, here's the thing. It's like I was watching Pop's Block Shop, one of his recent videos. I think he just purchased a large store to add to his store, but it, he focuses on things that there's less handling involved because he's like dealing with minifigures, but he's still dealing with large quantities and high dollar amounts of purchases. It's just like it just blows my mind. I mean, this is you you have to have the inventory to have the sales. And so he constantly is redoing his inventory. He knows things that will give him a good return, and he tries, like, if he sells a minifigure, he makes sure he's got one to replace it, like on his eBay store and things like that. But it's like, I'm like, I think I buy a lot. It's like, and of course he's buying to resell, but still, it's just like it blows my mind because when I see what he'll say about what he spends, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But he sells quite a bit, and that's why he's one of the best Bricklink stores in the world. BrickTsar asks, why do bagels impersonate donuts? I feel like there's a dad joke in there. Joey, is that going to be one of our opening lines for Dayful Podcast? Why do bagels impersonate donuts? I guess only if they got a hole. Wait a minute. Goodness, that's a good question. All right, and here's another one from Geology Joe, and this I think this gets back to one I actually did discuss on a video. But he's ever thought for Tipper Truck TV to do the weather balloon thing? Please call it the Space Tipper. I would love to do that. I would love to do it because it's going into space. Have you ever seen these videos where they send a Lego man or any other object into space with a weather balloon, and you can see the curvature of the Earth in it? It's just like, wow. It's really not that high because it's still in the atmosphere. It's just where the air is very, very, very thin, and then the weather balloon finally gives up, and then it falls back down. So it usually is not like, when I think of like the space shuttle taking off, it's like it's hundreds of miles away in no time. But this is only like, they usually are within a few miles of where they take off from. But I would love to do that. So that's my questions from recent videos. I've got to do better engaging you people. So I want to thank everybody for watching. And if you have a question for me, leave it in the comments below. I want to thank our channel members who sponsored this video. And we had ones that joined us live: Lego Freak, Battery Powered Bricks, and Oil Well. Thank you for supporting the channel, and all the other ones that couldn't be here. Thank you. This was kind of a last minute thing. And as I say that, I get another question from Oil Well. It's a very good, very, very, very good question. It says, how do you find the time to do all that you do with videos, Lego trains, the store, and life? My eyes are so heavy right now, it's not even funny. I have a lot of things that I want to do that I can't do. And so I posted on my community tab last night. I was scrolling through things, and I was looking for, it was when I was back to the Santa Fe. We're tied back to the Santa Fe train. So I was like, because I was going to convert this A unit to a B unit. And I was like, do I have two A units? Because I was like, I need two A units still. And I was like, I honestly didn't remember. I said, I think I do. Because I think I do. And so I was like, well, let me go look at, I know how to check. I'll just go look at one of my videos. So I went and watched, I found one of my videos, and then I started getting nostalgic because it's from 2014. It might have been 2015, but it was Lego passenger trains between 1966 and 2014. It was compilation from videos that I made between 2012 and 2015 or 2014. And I was like, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, how do you find the time? I was like, that was 8 years ago. All right. 8 years ago. And in that part of my life, then I worked at night. So I had a minimum of an extra 2 hours a day in my life that I do now. And I only slept 6 days in a 7-day week. So I had a lot more time. I also had a streamlined process for doing things. YouTube was crazy good for me in 2014, 2013, 2015, 2016. It was just like I could do no wrong with YouTube. And so I had a lot of motivation to make YouTube videos, but if you look at them, they were very low effort, much like they are today. But so I wasn't spending as much time. So things like this, sitting here down talking to you for about an hour, actually takes more time than what I could. In an hour, I probably could have made like 4 or 5 videos back then. But I had more time back then. But now I don't, and I am older. I'm starting to feel it in my body. But yeah, I have so many things that I want to do. So I've been prioritizing things. I've been trying to grow my Bricklink store. I'm trying to get ready for retirement. And so I haven't made nearly as many YouTube videos as I would like to make. And the Lego channel that I have here, and it speaks to the power of the hobby into Lego, is that I have a channel. And I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but this Trains Are Fun channel. I know I can make stuff over there that will get more views. And I love trains. All right. But I still find myself drawn like a moth to the flame to this Lego hobby. And yes, I've been critical a lot of things that Lego does. I think my criticism is valid. I still love the hobby. I don't like the snobbery that I see sometimes, both in the hobby and from the company. But there's a reason that you guys and us and me that we like this stuff. But no, I've neglected some things in my life, and my health is one of them. I'm starting to have, y'all see it in my belly. It's other things. I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm not eating right. My wife has done a really good job in her life in focusing on eating better and getting exercise. I have now, so I have this Fitbit. This is the only good thing I've done. Let's see if it shows here. I don't know if it'll show on this camera. So I hit 10. Let me show you this. Let's see if I can do it on my phone. This is high quality stuff here. Go to my Fitbit app. All right. So I know it won't show up. 10,000 steps today. And if I go over here, it's 782 days in a row. I have a powerful motivation for this. So I make sure I get my 10,000 steps every day. But it's mostly just walking, jogging in place, doing my daily routine or whatever. But that's over 2 years. And Charlie's telling me it's time to end the podcast. But I want to start running. I had this idea of like getting up just a few minutes earlier and going for like a 15-minute jog in the morning. And I think I would feel better physically. But I'm very proud of this 782-day streak because it's older than my grandson is, his entire existence. And so every time I get one of those evenings where it's like, I got 8,000 steps and it's 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, I'm just going to go to bed. But I'm like, no, I got to do this for Milo. I got to keep my streak going for Milo. So I want to be like, when he's like 10, I'll be like, I started this streak before you were born. And I say, you're my motivation to keep this streak going. But what I'm anyway, getting back to the oil well and what he asked about finding the time. No, I'm not finding the time. That's why the basement's still disorganized. That's why the city is disorganized. And so there's a lot of things I want to do. There's a lot of videos I'd like to make, but you got to focus on what's important, which is nothing related to YouTube. The most important things in life aren't related to YouTube and to Lego and to Bricklink and whatever else. But I'm going to continue to work on those things. And back to what I said about that video that I found from 2014 or 2015. It says 8 years ago when I look at it. In less time than that, the time from now back to when that video was published, I should be retired. So I was just like, that's just like, when I think about that, I'm like, they don't have more time. But, I could die before then. So if I do, and you're watching this video, I'm sorry I didn't fulfill my promise. Under promise, over deliver is what I always say. But anyway, I want to thank you. That's a really good question. And thank you for the support. Thank you for you people, all of you watching this video. If I offended anybody in this video, I think I've gotten better at tempering what I say. But if I'm wrong, please let me know. But do it in a way that I understand the context of what you're saying. Because if I read this comment in 2025, I may blow a gasket because I don't remember what the video was about. But anyway, thank you for watching another Unrecognized User Lego podcast. I'll be back. I don't know when, but when I do come back, it'll be more rambling, just like this. See you guys. I don't know how to end this thing.